So I'm so excited, man, about our next guest is a friend of the show. And she is an author, social justice leader, and civil rights activist. Y'all, please help me welcome the founder of Until Freedom, Tamika Mallory. Tamika, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. That when you say I'm an author, it's got a ring to it, Ricky.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. add on to those stats, man. Congratulations on your new book, State of Emergency. By the way, I shared it on my Instagram and on my Facebook page about 2 days ago. Trust me, I was already ahead of it.
I was just getting ready to ask you to do that. You already did.
Oh, no. I already been. It's in all my stories, my profile picture, everything. You know, I support you. State of Emergency, how we win in the country we built. Let everybody know why they need to grab their copy today.
Man, this book is something that I started writing a few months after, George Floyd was killed. And it wasn't just George Floyd. We got to think of it from Ahmaud Arbery. That's sort of where we began in 2020. Then we had Breonna Taylor, and then George Floyd was sort of the culmination of the year from hell, if you will, in terms of police brutality. And I started writing because so many people were calling me saying, hey, you made this powerful speech and give me more. We're trying to understand more. And I was thinking, like, y'all don't already know this. When you're doing your work, sometimes you think everybody knows what you know and you think everybody's on the same page. But there were a lot of people out there who said, my head has been in the sand. And now I'm in the pandemic. I'm paying attention. I know I need to get more involved. Where do I go? What do I do? And I decided to put it all down in writing and really create a guide, if you will, especially for new folks, black, brown, white, whoever you are, to find your place in the movement. And the last thing is that I wrote the book, this book on racial justice and social justice. I wrote it in a language that I was hoping would reach Ray Ray on a street corner. It might reach Keisha, who is, in a strip club. It might reach, a doctor, a lawyer. It could reach the person in the church house, maybe in the church basement, the janitor. I wanted it to reach everybody. And that's why the foreword of the book is a conversation between Dr. Angela Davis and Cardi B. I figured the two of them together having a talk about what is appropriate and not appropriate in this movement would be so helpful to folks to draw a large audience in.
Right. Well, Tamika, what is the best advice you would give people who may not agree that there is an issue of racial and social injustice in this country? I'll tell them to just turn on their TV, turn on your cell phone, and moreover, I'll tell them to go back. It's from January 6th, where folks was running up on the side of the walls at the Capitol and hanging nooses outside the building. Why would one need to hang a noose outside of the Capitol unless there is some issue with racism in this nation? And that goes for everybody. I mean, that is whether it's Vice President Kamala Harris, who was attempting to say, there's racism, but it's not a racist country. And she knows good and well that the institution, the foundation of this nation was built on white supremacy and racism. And I understand trying to say it the right way to bring people together, but we have to get away from being politically correct. We've just got to say it as it is and tell the truth, because I think that our path to equity and justice in this nation is going to be built through us being honest, through us just putting the information out there and letting people have to chew on the big steak, because That's right. is what it is. We can see it. Anytime you could be I was in Minneapolis waiting for the George Floyd verdict. First of all, we as black people, and of course George Floyd's family, I was there with them. We were too nervous about something that we know what it should have been. We saw
right.
The tape.
That's right. That's
we
what I
knew
said.
What the answer should have been, and yet, and still, we were sitting on the edge of the seat, like
So
we
true.
just weren't sure, because we've seen this country disappoint us so many times in the past. And to see his family having to hold their stomach, believing that the jury could say anything else but guilty, is absolutely crazy. But the worst part about it is that we finished speaking. We literally, finished hearing the verdict at the press conference. We stood there, we talked. And as I turned away, somebody texted me and said that Ma'Khia Bryant had been killed in Columbus, Ohio. Then 2 days later, on Thursday, we had to bury Dante Wright. So, I mean, y'all can ignore it all you want, but we know what's going on. We ain't crazy, and we've never been crazy.
And then a lady just got killed 2 days ago. The police just shot her down like she was a dog. I can't think of her name.
No, you're talking about Pamela Turner. She wasn't killed 2 days ago. She was killed 2 years ago, and we just are trying to get out there to help her family. Of course, Attorney Crump. You know, I don't play with Crump. When people talk bad about Crump, I get real mad.
You and me both.
I tell people, put some respect on Crump's name. They say, oh, well, you know, he lost all his cases. No,
he no prosecutor.
Lost any of his cases. Exactly. He's not a prosecutor. But Ben Crump contacted a bunch of us, Attorney Monique Presley, Teslin Figaro, Trader Truth, of course, my son, and a bunch of us. And he got us together and said, hey, you know, I need y'all in Houston, Texas, on behalf of Pamela Turner. Now, this is a woman who was she was mentally challenged. She lived in a community. Everybody there knew that she, you know, had some issues. And in fact, the officer lived in the community as well. 4 hours before she was killed, they served an eviction notice on her. The officer pursued her. She left her alone. Of course, again, having, you know, her mental health issues, she probably was breaking down because the officer was aggressive with her. He tased her when she hit the ground. He stood over her and shot at her head, her heart, and I believe in her stomach, shot her 3 times. And so her daughter, Chelsea, and her sister, Antoinette, were out there yesterday, and we had families. We had Jacob Blake Sr. There, George Floyd's family, Breonna Taylor's family, Tatiana Jefferson's family was there. They're still waiting to hear if there's going to, you know, when there's going to be a trial for Tatiana. It's too many names. There's too many people, and we are having to travel around this country. I'm actually in Florida getting ready to attend Sabrina Fulton's conference, the Circle of Mothers. You know all about that, Rickey.
I'll be there, Tamika.
Good. I'll see you here. And this is a conference where mothers that you've never even heard of come together for a weekend of healing and support. And, you know, Until Freedom is specifically going to be helping them work on how they set up foundations so that they can raise money to keep the work alive that they've been doing on behalf of their children. And you know, it's a lot. It's heavy. It's heavy for them, of course, as mothers. And it's certainly heavy for those of us who are activists. And, of course, people who are sitting at home are really experiencing PTSD.
Right.
Why is it so important for people to participate in politics, and not just participate, but do so in an organized fashion, directed properly, now more so than ever?
Well, you know, here's what I say all the time. And I said this to Oprah one day, and she, you know, she knew I existed, but she wasn't really paying me no attention. And then when I said this, she said, "Oh, let me listen more to you." I said, "Well, listen, let me get some more good words out here so that I can get some attention from Oprah." So I told her one day. She asked me the same question. I said, "Listen, if you protest and you don't push for policy, you've only done half the job. You did a good job because you were out there bringing awareness to the issue. But if you don't finish it by making sure that the people who are in positions of power actually pass legislation that will change the narrative, change the situation, and make sure that we have protections, then we've only done part of the job." I understand the frustration, y'all. I do. I get it. Hold on,
Tamika. Do you have time? I can bring you over to the front page or whatever, because I don't want this to cut any of this short, because it's so important. Do you have time?
Sure, yeah, sure.
Okay, so more 16 minutes after the hour, y'all. More Tamika Mallory coming up next. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. 24 minutes after the hour, y'all. We got the one and only Tamika Mallory with us this morning. I'm so excited to have her on this morning. Tamika, let us know about your book tour kicking off this weekend in Atlanta, and how can everybody follow you on social media and get your book?
Yeah, so we've been on a tour already, Ricky, that has really been quite successful. We had Taraji P. Henson and Andra Day with us, and we've got, activists from the community. Everybody is a part of the tour. Actually, we need to get you on the tour. This weekend, we're going to be in Atlanta. We won't physically be in Atlanta because it is virtual and people can attend any of the dates that they want. But we're partnering with local bookstores, so that's why it's categorized by states and cities. And this weekend we'll have Jeezy with us. Portia Williams will be with us. A young brother from NAACP, the head of the Youth and College Division named Wisdom Cole. And I'm really excited. Oh, Mary Pat Hector, of course. And I'm really excited about the daughter of Malcolm X, Ilyasa Shabazz. She will be on the panel as well. So it's going to be a great conversation. And then we have an event with the Smithsonian. So folks can go to TamikaDMallory.com. That's TamikaDMallory.com for more information. When you purchase a ticket, you get a book sent to you in the mail.
Man, listen, I am so excited for you. And thank you for everything that you do and the sacrifices that you make to make sure that we have our rights or whatever. And I want everybody to make sure that you pick up your copy of her new book, State of Emergency, and check out her own tour. Y'all give it up and show love right now for Tamika Mallory.
Thank you. Oh, I love y'all. I didn't hear Eva's voice this morning.
Yes.
Oh, there she is. My heart. Love
I
y'all
love you,
so
Tamika.
No, man.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much, y'all. One more time, Tamika Mallory. Yes.
Yes, indeed.